Welcome to Shortz on Sports. I'm your host, Beckett K, and I am here with the former Packer legend, number 65, Mark Tauscher!
Let's go! Yeah. That's pretty good. You sound like you could take over for Bill Jartz maybe at some point.
I told him that at the Wine and Cheese event.
I bet he liked that
maybe
when you did that.
Maybe I can take over your job.
Yeah.
All right, so starting off with your early life, we know in high school you played 3 different sports: baseball, basketball, and football. What made you choose football?
My size. I think I played a lot of baseball as a kid, and then I think I loved playing baseball. And from Auburndale, which I'm sure you knew that's where I was from, our basketball team was really good. So that was the sport from a high school standpoint. We had a ton of success. We only lost 2 games. One was the state championship. And basketball was always my favorite sport to play. So football, there just never seemed to be a ton of NBA or college scouts that were looking for a big block guy like me to play basketball that couldn't jump great. It was more I got pretty big, and football kind of came to where that's the sport that kind of chose me. That's how I looked at it.
All right, so as you kind of answered my next question, what sport was your favorite out of those 3? Moving on, you played 4 years. You're about to do 5 at the University of Wisconsin for college, 1995 to 1999, and you were a walk-on there. And they said that you were a big part of Ron Dayne's career year, Heisman Trophy year. How'd that make you feel getting to be like the main guy who was blocking for him?
Well, first off, a great recollection of that part of my life. So it was really special to be a part of an offensive line that was able to have, and one of the cool things was Barry Alvarez was a great coach, right? What led us to Rose Bowl championships and brought Wisconsin football from here to the mountains. But one of the really cool things was that season, 1999, we had just won a Rose Bowl, and Ron came back. And I thought one of the fun things was Barry Alvarez kind of sat with the O-line and Ron, and kind of as an offense just said, this would be we all want Ronnie to win the Heisman. We want Ron to have a great season, because that means we're going to have a great season as a team. And offensive linemen, you typically don't get a lot of love. It's, he got a holding penalty, or he did false started, or it's usually bad from a press standpoint. But he kind of made that goal of Ron to win the Heisman and to lead the NCAA in rushing as a team goal and as a goal for us. Ron to have all that individual success, but for us as a line, we really embraced the fact that we could be a part of something great. And now when I go out and if it's, talking to you or whomever, to be able to say that we blocked for a Heisman Trophy winner and the all-time leading rusher in the history of college football, that's a really cool thing to be able to say.
Yes, you're right. That's super cool. Now, you were picked with the 224th pick in the 7th round of the 2000 NFL Draft by the Green Bay Packers, and you were going in being a backup.
Yep.
And then in one of the first games of the season, in your rookie season, the starter O-lineman got injured, and you got to go in there and play. How did that make you feel? Do you feel like that was like a sign for you, or do you feel like that was just that?
Well, I was nervous. First off, it was in Buffalo. I got, Earl Dotson, who was a great player here for a long time. His back got tight, and he was unable to. He started the game, and he was unable to go in the beginning of the first quarter. So, I was really excited to get that opportunity, but I was really nervous as well. And it was, I don't know if I'd say it was a sign. What I wanted, at Wisconsin, I kind of had to bide my time. I was playing behind, All-Americans in Chris McIntosh and Aaron Gibson. So I didn't get to play soon. I had to kind of grind through 4 years, and then my 5th year I got to play. At Green Bay, it was the exact opposite. I got thrown kind of into the mix right away, and it was more of, I am ready for this. The great thing was Wisconsin totally had me prepared. Now, I don't know how prepared you can ever be to play in the NFL, but Wisconsin really put me in a great spot. My time there and my coaching and everything else gave me a great opportunity to have success. So I just looked at it as what a great opportunity, and I wanted to do everything in my power to do the best job that I could for the Green Bay Packers.
All right. So then, through the years, you played 11 years of football.
Yep.
You dealt through some injuries, but of the 134 games that you were like not injured, you played 132 of them. I mean I think that's super impressive for an offensive lineman because normally they get injured a lot. But one thing, in 2010 to the 2011 season, you played the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl. And I mean, you were like, oh, starting in the NFL is nerve-wracking already. How nervous were you, if you weren't, to play in the Super Bowl?
So I was injured. I did not get to play in the Super Bowl. I was there. So I started that season as the starting offensive tackle, and Brian Bulaga came in and played the rest of that season and started. He was actually the youngest starter in the history of the Super Bowl, which is pretty crazy.
That is cuckoo bananas. Now,
That is cuckoo.
So now you just told me, I never knew, that you did not get to play in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
How did that affect you? Like, were you just like wanting, when you were injured, did you just like want to run on to the field and just play?
Just throw pads on and go. Yeah, I think, unfortunately, football, does teach you get the highs, you get the first time you get to play, and then there's times you don't get to play. And I think from my standpoint, yes, I would have loved to have been able to play that whole season, and I would have loved to have been able to start in the Super Bowl. But what you try to do is just be the best teammate that you can with whatever the circumstances ask for you to do. And that was always kind of how I looked at it. Was it disappointing? Sure. That would have been great. But in the same respect, what's great is to be a part of a team that won a championship. So it would have been fantastic to beat Pittsburgh in Dallas, and me, individually starting and doing all that. But it's still, I can't tell you just how, and it was really the Chicago Bears game to get to the Super Bowl. I was surprised at how emotional that was for me, even though I wasn't playing, because I kind of knew that was going to be the end of my career. And it was really powerful to just be a part of a team that came together when nobody really thought that we were going to win and do it. And when you saw that confidence and the team just kept getting better and better, it was really cool to watch.
Yeah, because you guys were a 7 seed.
6.
6. Well, It used to be 7, but I mean, technically, it's the 7th, 6th seed for back then.
Yep.
So you guys had like a crazy like underdog story. Phenomenal, by the way. Now, in 2018, you were inducted into the Packers Hall of Fame. What did that mean to you?
Man, it meant everything. Growing up in Wisconsin and being a fan of the Green Bay Packers, so I knew the history. Obviously, I was born in the 70s, was a big fan in the 80s and 90s, and then it was to be able to play in the 2000s. Is always a big part of our family and our life, just being a fan, like I think most Wisconsinites. So for me to get the opportunity to play for Green Bay and then to be one of the guys that were fortunate enough to get inducted into the Packer Hall of Fame and be in the same circle with all these great players that have played in Green Bay, it was awesome. It was just, I got really choked up when I got that phone call. And part of it was that my dad was not with us at that point. He had passed away. But I just knew how much that was going to mean to him because of all the hours. And now as a dad, man, the hours you spend driving and coaching, and to have that come out was really emotional for me. And it was just a great honor to, be able to celebrate all of my career. And it wasn't just, obviously the Packer part was huge, and that's why I was in the Packer Hall of Fame, but my high school coaches, my high school teammates, my college coaches, my college teammates, my parents, my family. It really was special. And I can't think of a time where I was just more happy and content athletically than when I got that call and was able to celebrate with all those folks up at Lambeau.
Sorry to hear for your loss.
Thank you. Thanks.
Now, getting on to like a more like fun question.
Sure.
To wrap up the Packer part of it in your NFL career. What are your top 3 favorite Packers all time?
Woo! Top 3 favorite Packers of all time. Man, I'm going to send this to all the guys that I say in this.
Put them in order.
You want me to go top to bottom or bottom to... You want me to go 3, 2, 1 or 1, 2, 3?
3, 2, 1.
Ooh. All right. All right. Rob Davis, who was the long snapper.
For 3?
He's 3. And he's going to be mad because he's going to say he should be 2 or 1. But I can't put him there. He's 3 because he is just... I'm gonna do this because there's just too many. I have great teammates that I still stay in touch with. I'm gonna go Rob Davis 3. He is somebody that I just always respected from a leadership standpoint. He was a great leader on the vast. I think he retired in 2007 or 2008. So a vast majority of my career, Rob Davis was in that locker room, and he is just a really special dude. Then I'm gonna go, and this is where it gets tough. Marco Rivera and Josh Sitton and Al Harris are all right there as in that 2 spot. But being a good journalist like you are, you're not going to let me off the hook.
Well,
and can I pick 3 for 1 spot? It's probably not fair, or is it?
Top 6.
Okay. Well, those guys are all in my top. I'm going to put those 3. Marco was just a great teammate. He helped me immensely. He was my right guard for a vast majority. Josh Sitton is a younger player that I really enjoyed playing with, and he was one of the best guards we've seen in Green Bay. So him, my whole crew of when I played early in my career with Mike Wall and Mike Flanagan, Frankie, Earl, that whole crew would make this list too. But City will be mad at me if I don't put him in the mix, and he's my guy. So City's going to be in the top 2 along with Corey Hall, and then tops is going to be Chad Clifton. Cliffy, we were drafted the same year. We played this. He's the left tackle. I was the right tackle. I was in his wedding. He was in my wedding. He is somebody. He's a frustrating guy. You have friends that show up late. Do you have friends like that are like, man, but they're so fun to be around, but they're irritating?
Yeah, but I just have friends that sometimes they just make me so mad or they're late to something. It just so.
So Chad. It sounds like you know exactly what I'm talking about.
A Chad duplicate.
You have a Chad duplicate. That is my Chad duplicate. But Chad is somebody. I mean, man, we grew up together in the NFL, and that was something. He's my guy, and he's gonna be top of the list, and it's tough because I guarantee I'm gonna send this podcast over to City and a couple other guys, and they're gonna be a little bit irritated. But Cliffy is at the top of my list.
Did you feel because you said you guys almost grew up together in the NFL, did you feel almost like your brother of the NFL?
100%. He was, and it's weird to kind of tell you when you get drafted, there's so much unknown. And when you have somebody that you can kind of grow up with and say, man, I didn't know this, and I didn't have this, and then you just go through the process, and then you see each other, get married, and you see career goals, and you see wins and tough losses, and you can talk about, this protection. It was something, man, I don't know. My career would have been a lot different if I hadn't been drafted in the same draft class as Chad.
Who are your mentors?
That's a great question. Top of my list would be my dad. And, my brothers are also, people that have been really integral to my life. But my dad, and kind of just some of the stuff we already talked about with the coaching and the whole process of just kind of the sports part of my life is so shaped by how he approached things. And then I've had so many great coaches over the years. Coach Tim Anderson at Auburndale, and Barry Alvarez, Mike Sherman, Mike McCarthy. But Tim Anderson was somebody that really was influential and integral in kind of me just growing up. So those would be, that's just a really light brushstroke of some people that I would consider, mentors or people that were really influential in my life.
All right. Now, tell us something, just anything, just some facts about the thing that's going on today, your cooking show.
Okay, so obviously you and I, we both like eating. Look at us. We're both strong, big guys. And I just, what's always fun is trying to have teams come together and work towards a common goal. And with the Boys and Girls Club and Feeding America and TDS and Food Wise, it's really great to see everybody kind of have ideas on what they want to do to help in the community, and then everybody to come together to be able to get a program like this. And for us, for my wife, Sarah, who you've met, she's not as good a pickleball player as I am, but organizing and everything else, she's a lot better. And she did a lion's share of the work here. But to get the recipe and just get kids to be able to work together with Feeding America providing the food, and then you get the recipe together. You get to sit there and I'm going to chop this onion up. Oh, I have to measure this. Oh, I have to have this much liquid. Oh, I have to do this. And to work towards a goal of making a really good, healthy dish that then you can go home and you can use that same recipe and you can cook for your folks or you can cook for your family. That was a really cool initiative, and that's why I'm really excited that we're launching it and we're doing it up here at the Boys and Girls Club up in Green Bay.
All right.
You a cook?
I used to do
you retire?
weekly cooking shows.
Did you?
I'd make like banana bread.
Okay.
Like,
you put chocolate chips in your banana bread, right?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Or like zucchini bread.
Yeah. Chocolate
So
chips in
good.
there too. Right?
Now I want to make it tonight.
Yeah.
All right. Now you also have this thing called trifecta.
Yep.
And can you just tell me like what
Tauscher's
trifecta is?
reading initiative for every child to achieve.
I saw that online and what it means.
Yeah, so I liked horse racing. I went to the Kentucky Derby. That actually is a part of my college career arc. I saw coaches there, and so, but I just know how important it is. And for me, I struggled when I was a kid reading. So when I played, that was one of the things I went to school to be a teacher. That was one of the things that I really wanted to, kind of jump in and do some stuff to help, because I just know how important it was for me, for my own confidence, that I could, reading groups, I wanted to get to the top. I just wanted to be better. And it helped me a ton to gain confidence in myself. And that reading initiative, what we've tried to do with that is to give other people the same opportunities.
All right, now I know that you said that thanks to your third grade teacher and his Pizza Hut program
Yes.
called Book It.
Yes.
That's what helped you read a little bit better. So what was this like Pizza Hut Book It thing? 'Cause I know for sure it's not around today.
I think it still is.
It is?
Yeah, I think you need to check your
gosh.
sources.
I
But
want to try it.
yes, so it was a huge part. And you asked before, if I was going to be a baseball player or a basketball player. I think the Pizza Hut Book It program helped me get big and strong and become an NFL player. And here's what happened. Third grade, you'd get a certain amount. If you read a certain amount of books, you'd get a slip. And I lived in Auburndale. We didn't have a Pizza Hut in Auburndale, but we did in Marshfield. So we would take the slip that we get if you read a certain amount of books or whatever it was at that time. And then I can remember like it was yesterday. You'd go up and they had the oven right there and a little personal pan-sized pizza with the brown box and the red roof. And you'd hand the slip and you'd say, I want pepperoni on there. They'd put it right there. They'd slide it in the little deal. Then the pizza would sizzle, 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 pop out. They'd chop it into 4 and they'd hand you that box. And it was, there was nothing better as a kid. Then you get to maybe sit around and you get to play some arcade games. You get those nice red cups, the old school Pizza Hut cups. I'm telling you, you need to go check that out. It is. So that program, I can't remember anything. And I can remember great details about the Book It program that Pizza Hut put together. And it is fantastic.
There's nothing better than Pizza Hut pizza.
It's good pizza.
Yeah, it is. All right, now we know on the side you play pickleball.
I do. You claim you beat me, and you did. You guys did beat us.
But you said before that you claimed that everybody thinks differently and that you...
Well, I fib a little bit sometimes. You guys did beat us because you came in, you were confident, and you guys played well. So I tip the cap, and we appreciate you guys coming over to the Pickler, and we obviously are up in Green Bay, and You still getting over there? You playing a little bit?
Yeah, we got the 30 days for $30
Love it.
membership.
What a deal.
And I know it's such a great deal.
It is.
And yeah, we've been playing like every single day nearly. I mean, I wish I could go today, but it's not really open cards.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to tell everybody out there, the Pickler, if you live in Green Bay, that is a great place to go for pickleball. And you can just exercise there 30 days for $30. Come in there. It's not that expensive. And try it out. Because if you try something new, you could like it. Like he tried the Pizza Hut Book It program. He loved it, and he still remembers it.
Listen to Beckett.
Oh, my God. That was
Yeah, I know. It's
big
physical.
slam.
That was physical.
All right. Here's the thing.
Okay.
So, we're going on to one of the best parts of my interviews.
Ooh. All right. That's a tease.
The joke session.
Joke session. Okay.
All right. You go first, because I heard that you have some
So
pretty
here's-
cool dad
So
jokes.
I know you listen to Wildy and Tausch. It's on podcast. I have a podcast too. You're not the only guy with a podcast.
Wait, what? Wait. Oh, wait, I don't watch it.
Yeah, you're gonna start.
Wait, is it on Spotify?
It is.
All right, I'm going to be...
It's also on Apple.
All right.
Wisconsin On Demand. We're on radio. You're gonna love it, and you're gonna be on the show tomorrow.
What?
So our producer, well, I'm gonna talk about this on my show tomorrow.
Huh?
Yeah, we're on
Yes.
9 to 12 on all of your ESPN Wisconsin channels. All right, so I feel like I'm intruding on my producer because this is what he does. He loves pirate jokes, and then I have a book of dad jokes that I love bringing out, and then I try to do it in a pirate voice. I'm not going to do that today because I'm going to save that for the show. But, all right, what do you call a fake noodle since we're doing Tausch's Cookie Camp?
Impasta.
Jeez, you're good. All right. How do you make a tissue dance? That was an easy
Oh,
one.
put a little boogie in it?
Yep. What is a funny mountain called? Yeah, I gotta get this one. Hilarious. Hill. You get it? Hilarious. Thank you. And last one for me, and then I'll let you go. April showers bring May flowers. But what do May flowers bring?
December flowers.
Pilgrims. Come on. Come on, you should have known that one.
I didn't know.
Mayflower, the ship? Yeah.
Okay.
All right. All right, what do you got?
Okay, so these are some cooking jokes.
Okay, that's
Because,
good.
I mean, you have your cooking
You got
show.
the impasto already.
All right. So, I tried to become friends with a Caribbean chicken. He said he was a complete, total jerk.
That's pretty good.
All right.
That's pretty
this
good. You like
one-
jerk seasoning on chicken?
I don't really
Okay,
like chicken.
that's
I
good.
eat chicken tenders from like Chick-fil-A or something.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
Chick-fil-A chicken tenders. And no, this podcast is
No,
not
they,
sponsored by
I was just going to
Chick-fil-A.
say, you got to start getting these as your partners.
Yeah, you know,
One thing we've learned,
Yes.
you don't be giving up free advertising. Now you got to, you know what I mean?
Yes,
That's
I'm-
all part of the process. You're
all
a young
right,
guy.
I'm gonna go to them today.
You know what? Normally I think people, but you will go do that.
Yeah,
I feel
I will.
very confident about that.
I love
Oh, I know. I actually think we might hire you on. I don't know. What's the child labor law? That's a whole other story.
All right. So, I'm super sad because I wanted to cook an alligator for dinner, but we only had a crock pot.
Not bad. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I love. Are you a big crock pot guy? Do you like having soup or like stuff in crock pots, or is that not really your deal?
I've never eaten out of a crock pot or cooked something with a crock pot. I don't know what you do with crock pot.
Yeah, I get it.
All right. Now, I want to save this one for last.
Okay.
So, we know that you are on the Badgers Radio Network and the Packers Radio Network.
So I'm on the Badgers Radio Network, and then I do some Packer stuff on our ESPN Wisconsin.
Oh, there's an ESPN Wisconsin. All right. So, I heard different, but
Okay.
All right.
Well, we all have
mean,
our different sources,
never-
like we've discussed.
you can never trust
The web. Yeah, Google's
web,
tough.
Google.
Google's tough.
But what is your most memorable moment on both of those things?
Oh man, that's a great question. From the Badger standpoint, I think just I made a screw up with the tight end's name this year. His name is Tucker Ashcraft, and I completely screwed that up on the broadcast. So that was one that
What'd you say?
I think you know.
Oh,
I don't
well.
know. This is a children's program, right? I can't. Yeah. I butchered it. That's probably the most memorable part of what happened.
All right. Now, that was it from Shortz on Sports.
Can I ask a quick question? This was one of the longest podcasts I've done. You said Shortz on Sports, right?
Yeah.
This was long on sports today.
Thank you for listening to Lawn on Sports.
You know I'm just messing with you, right?
I
What
take
is your-
everything
so-
literally.
You do? Let me ask you a few questions since we're doing a podcast here. What was the most interesting thing, because you've had a lot of really good guests. What's the most interesting thing you learned from Mark Murphy?
Oh, Mark Murphy. I can hardly even remember that one.
He was that memorable?
Oh, one thing that I remember so much, and I said this last night on a show when I was being interviewed,
How many shows are you doing?
like
Man,
more than I can count on this hand.
okay, so 6.
Or 7, or 8.
Okay.
Anyways, well, he does not look that tall in pictures. When you see him,
Yeah, he's a big
like,
guy.
When you see him, like
He played in the NFL.
person, yeah, he
Yep.
played for the Commanders. Well, Redskins, but
Yep.
Commanders.
Yep.
And he's way taller.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I think we took a picture. I was looking like this, and he was looking like this. And I always do that with people that are way taller than me because it's just so
It's fun.
funny.
Okay.
But yeah, it's probably the most memorable, the best thing that I remember from Mark Murphy. All right, and then another thing that I remember from Mark Murphy. It's kind of a joke, kind of like a riddle.
Okay.
What does the NFL stand for?
Not for long. Did I ruin your joke? I didn't mean to ruin it.
It's okay. I'm just kidding.
Well, do you have another one? I mean,
No, it was okay. I was joking. All
I know.
right.
Literally.
Huh?
Remember you said everything's literal?
Yeah.
No?
All right. That was it from Shortz on Sports, or as he says, Lawn on Shorts. I'm your host, Beckett, and we're out. As everybody says, if you can't handle the heat,
Get out the kitchen.
and that's
Shorts on Sports.